points last. I teach them to pull on their face to stop. So when you get to A, I want you to pretend like there's a piece of barbed wire right there and stop. Hands. You just ran through the barbed wire. Trot. Trot. We're going to get it severe. He can't take one step forward and stop. No steps. Whoop, took a right step. Trot. One step is off the 500-foot cliff. Now, there's one step. If he takes one step, we feel like they stop, but then they take one more step. For him to stop correctly, he has to transfer weight to his rear end. He has to elevate his shoulders, put lots of weight on his rear end, because if he puts any weight on his front end, he's going to step forward and stop. Whoa! Trot again. Trot, trot, trot. Hands up and stop. How's he going to elevate through his rear end? There, if you don't keep your hands up. There you go. There you go. Trot, trot. Doing great. Now soften to him and see if he doesn't balance because of your stop. Keep your leg on. Remember, it's the leg. It's the leg. He'll soften to you because you stopped him a few times. He said, where am I going to stop big time? Not what am I going to shuffle to. Where am I going to trot to and then stop? Hands up. Don't suck him back. Whenever you stop a horse with your hands, don't pull straight back on the reins. You want him to elevate his shoulders. And you can do this if you're real good. If you can keep the horse's head down if you can elevate their shoulders at the time. I just lift them up. I mean, if I want to make it real simple, I want him to throw his neck up and hit his head on the roof. That's what's going to make him stop good. And stop. Trot. Go for it. Go for it. Underneath his belly. Underneath his belly. Underneath there. Now release him. Have you been loping him any? Okay, right lead low. Go. Go for it. You can soften your hand. However you've been doing it at home, just go low. However you've been doing it. Now trot, because you're in the wrong lead. Lift your right rein. Lift your right rein. Now, don't be so aggressive with your hands. Let's get him going. Keep some more trot. More trot. More trot. More trot. Just trot. Be softer with your hands. More trot. Now, right lead low. Go for it. Go on. Go on. Stay committed. Stay good job. Stay committed.
Girl.
Stay committed. Woo! No flying elbows like my brother. We call him Butterfly. Good. No flying elbows. No flying elbows.
Got him broke for you, baby.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Now,
good girl.
Trot up the hill. Trot up the hill. There. Soft. Soft.
Right.
There you go. There you go. And walk. Good job. Up the hill. Walk up the hill. Walk up the hill. Good. Now release him. Pin on him. Good job. Very good.
Good job.
Bill, he's our man.
That can't teach us, no one can.
Let's go the other direction. Let's go the other direction.
I think it's her left leg that she has a hard time with. If I remember right.
Well, she knew it. She caught herself in a guilty mode right there. She said, I don't think I did that right. Well, you're absolutely right. At least you knew that.
That's okay. We don't do half this stuff right.
When you do that, every
here.
time we don't lead horses, we ride horses. So everything you do when you ride a horse should be always exactly the same. So you're going over here and I said, and you're so happy about the lope. I understand this. I'm not getting after you. Everybody does this in the beginning of their life. I learned it a long time ago. You do one thing bad or wrong, you have to do 13 things right. Exactly. What happened, for that horse to understand, I'm not going to do that anymore. What happens, you were going to change the race, so you said, well, I'm just going to drag that rein over here and I'm going to turn you around. All you have to do is lift your right rein, place it, put it on your right seat bone, he'd have followed your seat bone. There's no leading anymore. I just want you to change your direction right now. Lift your left rein, get on your left seat bone, he'll follow his nose. That's how you should have made the turn. Now, lift your right rein, go in your circle. Lift your right rein. Go on your right seat bone. Keep him walking. Don't let him turn with his hips. Keep him walking. That's not a turn on, we're not doing a turn on the forehand. Lift, he's got to keep walking. Lift your left rein. Get on your left seat bone. Just drop to your left seat bone. Let him follow his nose on a small circle to your left now. To your left. Let him do a small circle towards me. Left seat bone. Let him do a small circle. Smaller. Small circle, not big circle. Right over there. Small circle. Yep. That's fine. Yeah. Let him follow. Now see how he's drifting to the right? Okay. There you go. Don't use your outside leg so much. Bigger circle than that. Not that small. Not that small. Not that small. We get too small a circle. Now, here's a great thing to learn right here. I'm going to show you. Keep it circle again. Now stop right there. Now, auditors should be learning. This is how I learned most everything in there, watching people. She started her circle right here, and I'm going to show you the first circle she did. The first was out there. Then it came right here. She did this circle right here. Now watch what this horse did right here. He just cut her off. I can still see his tracks. He got over here and said, I'm going to wander off this track, and I'm going to get here. He was creeping toward his magnet. She said, look, I'm winning. I'm getting closer to the garage.
Frank, you're the magnet.
He started what we call spiraling down. You weren't doing a leg yield. You weren't asking him to move over. He was just doing it because he said, I need to get to those people. They're going to give me a treat. So he's spiraling. Anytime a horse does that, they're winning the game. When you set yourself on a circle, I learned this with a tree in the middle of a 160-acre pasture. I'd done this so much that I had to change trees because I wore a cow path around this tree. I could tell how far I was away from it. Because when I put a horse on a circle, imagine, what I try to always imagine is, if I tied the string right there and tied it to my right foot, I better not break it. And I better keep the same distance. This is how you do perfect circles.
You did that to the girl team?
I'm going to keep the same distance from that all the way around and come back to my circle at the same point. If that horse moves in, I have to press them out. If they move back, I've got to pull that shoulder back in. So what I did, I found me a tree, and so I did this so much that I wore a cow path, and I thought, well, you're doing great circles, Bill, but it was so deep the horse just stayed in it. It wasn't me, so I had to go find me another tree. But so anytime you're in an arena, you need to set your cone down, set your clod down, when I'm riding in an arena, I don't put cones up anymore. I find me a hoof print. And I said, there's my hoof print. I want to keep the same distance around that hoof print all the time. I also imagine if you put a yardstick, tape it right there and just barely let it drag the ground, you should be able to ride a perfect circle and have a perfect circle when you get off. Like a roach is great for that. Because you can do perfect circles that look roachable if you're riding good circles. Start on your circle up here again at the walk. I'm going to show you how to ride a perfect circle. The perfect circle is usually off of your inside leg. People say, oh, I've been taught my whole life to turn my horse to the left by using my outside right leg. The outside leg is only used if you want a sharp turn. You have to maintain the bend. So your left leg is softly at the girth. I'm going to be the center of your circle. I want you to stay the same distance from me all the way around. If he moves that way, you've got to bring him back to me with your hands. Okay. Yeah, you just pull your hands hard to me. Pull the hands over there. Your hands control from the shoulders forward. They leak out their shoulder. They don't leak out the rear. Most of the time, if the rear leaks out, they're going to cut your circle off the center. They'll come into me. You have to press them back over. So you're going to say, pull that shoulder, pull that. It should become lighter, that he said. If he pulls to the right, you pull him hard. Good. Same distance all the way around. So set yourself up. When we have our goals and we have our aids, this is an aid. Use it. Set a cone down. Do anything. I need a perfect circle around you. So let's see what happens now. So you're using your inside leg only, right? Good. Inside leg. Because why do we use the inside leg only? Because I don't want to interfere with his bend. If I stab him with that right foot, he's liable to move his rib back to the inside, change his nose, and come across, but it'll be in the wrong position. So I'm just going to pull the shoulders. If his nose is to the left, he starts to bleed out. I'm going to pull straight back on the reins and pull his shoulders back over without losing his bend. Say, why do you keep blowing to my right rein? Am I on my inside seat bones? Nope. Yep. Outside leg. If you want him to step across, and I'll show you how to make one step across. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. If you wanted him to come across the center, pull that shoulder hard. Pull back on both reins. You can't pull harder on your left rein. You have to pull. Once a horse starts leaking out the outside shoulder, pulling on the inside rein makes him leak harder. Pull on your outside rein, straight back and pull his shoulder. Now I want you to pull him towards me. Pull straight back on both reins and pull that shoulder. Now go forward. There. Good. Pull back on both